Welcome to the Redvee TV preview show, supported by A-Star Recruitment for the 2019 season, as we look ahead to this weekend's Challenge Cup quarter-final against Wakefield Trinity. Saturday afternoon, 3:15 kick-off, which means this is being recorded Thursday night, which is a bit of a different night than normal for us. Squads?
Yeah, Saints-wise, the injured trio of Mark Percival, Louie McCarthyScars and Luke Thompson come back in place of James Bentley, Kyler Moore and Adam Swift. And there's also one change because Theo Farge picked up a concussion against Cass at Magic and he's replaced with Danny Richardson.
Now, I saw that today. I've seen a clip this week of Farge taking the ball in and basically getting stiff-shouldered off the defender, and nothing was given at the time. But big loss for Saints.
Yeah, he's come back into the team, and I think we had a couple of scratchy performances when he'd been out and came back in. But he started gelling again with Johnny Lomax in the halves, and he just takes the line on it. He created our first two tries at the weekend, one by switching the play back to the blind side and one by taking it out over to Zeb Tyre. So it will be a big miss, but hopefully Danny can come in, and we shouldn't really expect too much of him first game back into our structures. But
functional,
yeah,
would be what we require.
Exactly, a bit of a kicking game off him, and just literally catch and pass and try and put people into gaps.
Catch and pass, that's a good thing for a rugby league player.
That's all he needs to do.
Yeah, I did see someone on social media saying, I hope he takes over kicking duties.
He won't.
He won't?
No. Not a chance.
Lachlan Coote is the 2019 kicker for Saints.
Yeah, you wouldn't change
unless he misses 15 on the bounce.
Yeah, in which case, well, that's it. If he misses 3 on the bounce that are quite easy, it may go over to him. But
the kicks he's missing are from touchline most of the time, aren't they? So they're not easy conversions anyway. And I think we've seen from Richardson's kicking when he did take a couple, he's not automatic either.
No, he's that's it. You could be people who've got the stats and will argue that Richardson is statistically a better kicker than Coote.
But Coote's a better fullback than Richardson.
Well, he's probably a better all-round player because Danny's only 22. But yeah, he won't take over the kicking duties anyway. It's not even up for discussion, that one.
Is it a risk bringing 3 potentially ringed rusty players straight back in for such a big one-off game?
There's always the risk, but I think Holbrook has said in the press that Percival was ready to go last week, but they kept him out. And I just want to make the point there that the trust in the squad players with the likes of Matty Costello, that he can keep him in there and Matty Costello will still do a good job
and keep Percival out for another week. Because you can afford to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think not only having the faith in your squad players, the position we've put ourselves in as a team with the points we've got on the board means you can afford to, I want to say take risks, but it's not taking risks, but like rest players like we did at home to Salford, and yeah, we squeaked through, but if we hadn't and we'd have lost the game with a 6-point cushion, not the end of the world.
Yeah, exactly. But that, as you say, it's the position we're in now that we can afford to do that, and it just shows the reserve argument is one there. Imagine being able to give Percival a run out in the reserves 1 week just to get him a bit of match fitness. Maybe you might give people more like half an hour or 40 minutes rather than put them through a 60-70 minute stint just to give them a bit of rugby in the legs. But it's good to see the likes of Matty Costello, the likes of James Bentley, the likes of Joe Batchelor's come in the past couple of weeks as well, getting the chance and not letting anybody down. What I also like to see as well is the leading the team songs. Costello was the one leading it at Anfield, and I like that. I like how that looks, like it's squad-wise. I think performances on the field tell you that it's a harmonious squad at the moment.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I think it was last week, Louie McCarthyScars, despite being injured and not in the squad, stood up at the back of the lockers, still involved, and still really there with the team effort. And do you know what? We've missed Louie.
Yeah, and taking the mick out of James Bentley's singing voice. Which, if you've not seen the clip, he just starts laughing as soon as Bentley's left on his own singing. Bless him. I wouldn't like to do it, to be honest. There's no videos of me singing on the internet anyway, so
no. Scroll down the channel. And Luke Thompson. Well, we don't need to say anything, do we? But great to see him back in alongside Alex Walmsley.
Yeah.
And on the other side of the fence, David Fafita missing out for Wakefield, and that is a massive blow for them.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a fantastic player. You would have him at Saints. I think you really, really would have him at Saints. I think he'd bring something slightly
And do you know
different to
what?
your
I think
back
if
as
you go back a couple of years, we wouldn't have said that about him.
No.
But he's
one of the players who, with the
come on
reduced,
massively.
with the reduced interchanges,
He's had to shed a bit.
Yeah, and he's got better and better and better. Whether players are a fan of the reduced interchanges, I'm not sure. I think somebody asked Sam Burgess on Twitter, and he said he was a massive fan of it.
But you've got to do more minutes.
But it's the likes of Fafita have definitely improved off the back of it.
Wakefield, then, what do we make of them? I wasn't really impressed with them at the Magic. But on the day, they can give anyone a game. But the way both sides are currently playing, I think Chris Chester said himself, Saints will go into the game as massive favourites.
Yeah, I think we're 16 on the handicap.
Probably about accurate.
Yeah, you'd say so. Listen, if we're lax, Wakefield can take full advantage of that. I think Danny Bruff's back for him as well, which will be big. Again, he doesn't have to do much. He'll have a good kicking game on him, but he can literally just marshal his troops around the field. So we still need to be
on our guard.
And not just take it on second gear, like people could say we did for quite a bit of the Salford game. If we throw in a Salford performance, it'd be a lot closer than it needs to be.
And it'll be a lot more worrying knowing that it's a one-off game.
Yes, exactly. That's it. You've just said about the league position and the fact that we can afford a couple of slip-ups. In a cup, you can't.
No. This is probably the most nervous I've been about a game so far this season. Unfortunately, the way the structure works, do you know what? Yeah, we'll play Warrington in a few weeks. Do you know what? If we win, brilliant. If we lose, not the end of the world. I want to go to Wembley this year. Do you, Kev?
I can't go to Wembley this year.
Never mind, Kev. Other
I
news.
want us to get there though.
Okay.
I want us to get there.
But you're not coming?
No.
Schoolboy, get him married.
You can say that as a married man, and your missus doesn't watch this.
Other news this week, Adam Swift. We've talked about him previously on these shows. There is not an awful lot that splits our three wingers. Unfortunately, Regan Grace has progressed and has probably jumped ahead of him in the pecking order. We've said many a time, Adam Swift is too good to not be playing first team Super League rugby in a decent side.
Yeah, you say Regan Grace has probably jumped ahead of him. He massively has. He's taken his shirt.
And I don't think that's anything to do with Adam Swift. Because look at the performances
it's not.
Adam's put in when he's been in the side. Hat-tricks, doubles, great tries. But you can't leave Regan out at this moment in time.
Regan's box office, isn't he? And it's just unfortunate for Adam Swift that he's not getting the chance because Regan is... Regan's still building. I was just about to say he's at the top of his game. He's probably not.
Probably another 4 or 5 years. Yeah, the best of Regan Grace.
Exactly, and that's a scary thing. If we can keep hold of him, then we're going to see some absolutely outstanding rugby from him. It's a shame, isn't it? Because Justin Holbrook again has come out in the local press and said that he would like to have kept him, selfishly like to have kept him, but you can't begrudge Adam Swift this move.
I don't want to see Adam Swift playing reserve rugby at Lee. It's not fair, lad.
No, it's not. No,
his talents deserve more, and he's going to get that showcase at Hull.
And I tell you what, there's been a couple of Hull fans saying, "Oh, we don't know where he's going to fit in
on the wing."
I tell you where he'll fit in: straight onto your left wing, straight onto your
on
left
your wing.
But it does look like with the signing of Josh Jones and Adam Swift that they're trying to build that 2014.
One thing I will say though is, I was not massively impressed at seeing Adam wearing Hull FC gear.
Yeah, I know.
All ready for the 2020 season of being announced. I'm not a massive fan of it across the game. If Saints sign someone from another Super League side, I don't want to see them in Saints gear this year. Let them represent the clubs that they're with.
Yeah.
There's a little element of like Paul Ince, like.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
To make some, not for me, I'm afraid. So Hull, you could have just announced the signing. You didn't have to picture him in your kit.
I've nothing to add to that yet.
I'll get off my soapbox. Anything else this week? The rumours about Theo Farge. Some were saying he's resigned. Some are saying he's still considering offers from Cass. It should hopefully all come out in the wash and be resolved in the next week or so.
Yeah, hopefully so. It's one of them because it's a salary cap sport. People think it's not fantasy rugby where you can just turn around and pick the best players and then pick a couple of rubbish ones at the side. He'll just pick you some points up. It's about who you've got in the team. You don't swap 6, 7, 8 at a time. Well, unless you're the likes of Hull.
And the issue we've got as a club as well is because we have so many good youngsters coming through and being able to perform at a Super League level. If you want to retain them in your squad and you don't want them getting picked off by the likes of Wakefield, Leeds, Salford, you've got to offer them better contracts. So you've got to find that money from somewhere, and that means you can't necessarily go splashing out massive money on luxuries. Is luxury the word?
Possibly, yeah. But that's where people will probably turn around and say, well, Adam Swift is our reserve winger, going back to Swifty. What happens if Regan or Tommy get injured? Well, that's where a Tom Nisbet, but possibly a Matty Costello can fill in on the wing. That's where you've got to promote, because otherwise we're just going to end up with a team of 20-odd-year-olds who've played, instead of having played 100 Super League games, have played 10, 15 because they play a couple of times.
Or in 5 years, a team of has-beens with nothing coming through on the conveyor belts, and you end up like Leeds.
Yeah, you stand still, especially I think at academy level. If you stand still, then you're struggling. You only have to see the teams who have dominated the sport over the past, since Super League started. Saints, Wigan, Leeds brought people through. Leeds have stopped really, I think, and then have restarted again. So they'll only reap the benefits in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Wigan always do it. Saints always do it.
Let's be honest. You look at the way we've built our squad now and what we've got. There is no Saints fan who can in any way question the club's recruitment and youth development at this specific moment in time, because it's spot on.
Yeah, that's it. And people, well, as I say, it's a salary cap small, so people might turn around and say, I'd get rid of him and sign, I'd get rid of X and sign Y. But if X is on 30 grand a year and Y is on 70 grand a year, you just can't do it.
Yeah. I enjoyed somebody say, Fives won't sign his contract, let's go and get Jackson Hastings. Yeah, because Jackson Hastings isn't going to be in demand, is he?
Yeah.
With offers galore.
Marquee player.
Yeah. Not much else to add really, is there? Looking forward to getting back to a proper rugby league stadium on Saturday. That doesn't stink.
Oh, here he is. That royal blue, here he is.
Me all day. Yeah, hopefully Saturday is a great day. Saints win and then we get the double later in the evening.
Well, it's nice. It's nice weather forecast.
I'll let you pick who I'm back in there.
It's COYS.
Yeah. Come on. That's the hashtag for Saturday. COYS. Expect everybody to tweet it.
Yeah, it's
between 8 AM and 10 PM.
It's meant to be nice weather on Saturday as well, so it'd be good to see a bumper crowd down at Saints.
Season ticket holders are still getting discounted tickets, I think, as well. So if you've not got a ticket yet, you need to. I know it's live on the BBC, but do you know what? It doesn't beat being there, does it?
Yeah, get out, have a couple of pints. Why not?
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon as well. You've got Sunday to get over it.
Correct. Right. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're one of the 3 people who ever give us a thumbs down, give us that thumbs down. We love it. But yeah, tell us in the comments why you're giving us the thumbs down. If it's just because you don't like me or Kev, that's fine. You're not going to be the only one, don't worry. Well, there's 2 others. So yeah, like, share and subscribe, and we will catch you on Saturday afternoon for hopefully a winning instant fan reaction as we head to a semi-final.